Hello, Mr. Barry's geometry class. This is May 17th. And I'm looking at the surface area for, first of all, we start off with some prisms, rectangular prisms. And then we work on some other prisms here that we're going to talk about. So I want to do the odd ones with you, and you can go ahead and tackle the even ones yourself. Let's take a look at number one. So the formula that we're going to need to use is right over here. 2 times length times width plus 2 times length times height plus 2 times width times height. And so you're going to want to label what you're going to label. And really, if you mix these up, it doesn't really matter as long as you have, the width, the length, and a height labeled. And you're using those throughout your problem. So I chose my width, my length, and my height. Now, you might switch your length and height. I always think height and width. I always think length as the longest one. If you were to tip this over, I could see this being called the width and that being the height. You can use those interchangeably is what I'm trying to say. So I write the formula down, then I just plug in my L's, my W's, my H's where they are. I work out the problem. You should be getting 542 feet squared. Same thing with number 3. Figure out what your length, your width, and your height is going to be. It doesn't matter if you've, mixed up yours. Like I said, it depends on the position in your mind, how you see it. As long as you stick with it, you're going to get the same answer. So I put in my length, my width, I put in my height where it goes, and I just plug this into your calculator just the way you see it, and then put it in parentheses. Or you could put times, 2 times 11 times 6 plus 2 times 11 times 1.5 plus 2 times 6 times 1.5. And then you just hit equals, and this one you should get 183 feet squared. Now we're going to go down here to a triangular prism, and what we have is this formula for surface area. HP plus 2B, the H being the height between the bases, the P being the perimeter of the base, and B the area of the base. So for this one, the height in between the two bases, now you got to think of this like tipped on its side, because the bases are going to be the triangles, okay, the triangles. So if I were to tip it over like backwards or forwards, the height is going to be 3 kilometers. Then the perimeter of one of the bases, either this front one or that back one, perimeter, this is 5, this is 10, and this is 12. So 5 plus 10 plus 12, we get 27. I'm circling the numbers I'm going to use in this formula. And then the area of the base, so we have the area of the base, this is 12, and this one right here gives you the height, so it's 12 times 4.1 divided by 2, which is 24.6. These 3 numbers I use in the formula. So my H, I put my H there, my P, I put my P there, my 2 times the B, 2 times the B, the base that I just found. Just type this in your calculator the way you see it, and you get 130.2 kilometers squared. Number 7. I get the height, I get the perimeter of one of the faces, and that's going to be a trapezoid there. Hi. And that trapezoid, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the formula for the trapezoid, and you take the height times that by base 1 plus base 2. So I have my 18 and my 10, base 1 and base 2. All that divided by 2, and I got 173.6. I go ahead and plug my H, my P, and my B into my H, my P, and my B into the equation, and I get the formula, 833.2 millimeters squared. Moving on to number 9, find the surface area of the cylinder. So the cylinders are kind of easy. you just take 2 times pi times r squared. The r here is the radius is 11. And you add that to 2 times pi times r again times the h times the height of the cylinder, which is 26. Plug those numbers in. You see my 11 there. You see my 26 there. This ends up being 2,557.26 yards squared. Lastly, some applications here where we know what the answer is, what the whole surface area is, but we don't know what the length is. So if the surface area of a box of a cereal below is 272 inches squared, find the length of the box. So all I do is I plug in all the other information into this equation that I know and leave out the length. Do my multiplication. Combine my like terms, my L's, and I just solve for L by subtracting 48 from both sides and then dividing by 28, and you should get a length of 8. Okay, I want you to try the even ones, and if you make mistakes, no big deal. Go ahead and correct those mistakes, and you're taking part in the learning process. Good luck.